Hey YouTube, I'm creating a video to zombify myself. I'm gonna do my hand, like I got bitten. You need a few supplies. I have the basic. I'll show you as I go through with it. I like to keep my hair out of my face so I can see properly. Sometimes I zombify my face. You can find my Facebook, and look it up too because I have pictures on there. Okay, first you need to start with a basic layer of latex. Bottle stop. There we go. Then you need a makeup applier. Simple something. Sometimes you can use tissue paper, or a Q-tip, but a little makeup applier. Put some latex onto your thing. Then simply dab it onto your hand. You can keep on reapplying to make it thicker if you'd like. Just a simple layer. Be fine. Also, it's nice just to kind of shave the area you're going to latex because the hair on your skin does get ripped off and it does hurt. Then you take some simple tissue paper, just cut it up and layer it on there. Just one layer at a time. Most tissue paper is dual layered. This will give it a nice ripping skin-like material. Pretty awesome to do. It's basic. Make sure it has uneven layers because it'll look fake if you don't. Then you cover it back the tissue with latex, just dabbing, giving a more of a ripping layer. But don't rip too much or you'll rip it off. Make sure the latex stays wet. Dab it on there. I like to do thin layers because if you do thick layers, you'll have to wait forever for it to dry. And then you won't really have much of anything. Now the thick layers are better. Sometimes you can add separate layers of latex tissue to it if you want a thicker level of cutting, showing the different layers of your skin. Sometimes it's okay to take Q-tip and dip it into the latex and then smear it on too, because then it gives it more of a dragged feeling, which is good. Of course, I always go back to my makeup applier. Dab a little bit. Sometimes if the liquid latex doesn't want to work with you, like it isn't for me right now, you just take it and dump it onto your hand and then roll it back around. Just make sure you're careful with that because it will rip off the tissue. And then just apply it with the Q-tip so it's nice and evenly done. I'm going to add another layer because it'll look better. Then, after you completely cover it with latex, you wait for it to dry. It's best to wait for it to be completely dry or it won't last very long, or it'll rip up in places and be all nasty. But sometimes people like it nasty, but most people only need zombie makeup for a couple hours. This is what it looks like now. Kind of looks plastery. Wait for it to dry a bit. And this is part one. I'm going to continue this onto my face while this one dries. We're going to do another one across my forehead, which I'm going to need to take off my glasses. Take the cotton plier, shove some liquid latex, and dab it across your forehead. The face is always fun to do, but you have to be careful when you do the face because blood will get in your eye after a while, and the latex is a very high chemical substance and will sting your face if you're not careful. I know it's very straight edged right now, but I'm going to rough it up with a sponge. Pour latex. And dab it onto your foot. Make sure not to get this in your hair because it's really hard to get out. And also, it does not come out of carpet, clothes, or dogs. I have spilled latex on my lab before. And shall I say, he still has latex on him after a month. The best way to get it off a dog is to shave the dog, but who really wants to shave their best friend? I'm going to add another layer of tissue to my forehead here. And you need to rough it up while it's still wet, or it will rip off when it's dry, or it'll hurt really bad. So you dab it on your forehead. It's a lot easier to do your face than your hand because your hand has so many flexing muscles and you can calm in the face. So I'm going to take this plastic cover. It goes to one of my makeup things. I do have a more sponge, but I can't find it. And just rough up the edges. I'm going to use my hand a bit too. And pull on it. Doesn't look so even. Okay. Still a little rough edge, but once it gets blood on it and paint, and I rip it open, it won't. And it will cut your eyebrow, so be careful on your forehead. I cut my eyebrow, but I'm used to it. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my hand. It's not completely dry, but it's mostly dry, so good enough for me. And I'm going to simply just rip at the latex, giving myself an open wound. You can do gaps, too. I like to just do one ripping face, because it looks like your skin's just been ripped out. Then you need to layer this part and around it with red. I'm close to running out of paint, but just simply add red to the area. It'll look fake for a while, but when you add the blood and stuff, it won't. And use my newer paint too, which is still running out of that one too. You add red to the area. Then you use your finger, or you can use a paintbrush. Some people like the even strokes. And you rub it onto the white. You don't have to worry about every little spot, but you do need to try to cover as much as possible of the latex. And make sure you get under the latex, because when the skin comes up, you don't want it just people to see white. See, I have a gap there that blood will just pour from. And there you go. And then, after you take the white, you use black. And you just dab the black, because you want it to look thick. And the black will give it that effect. And the black will also help cover those little white specks in areas that you couldn't cover with the red. You can cover with the black by dabbing really hard. Just dabbing and dabbing. Till it about looks like that. You need black underneath it too, because that's where the thickness should be. Till it's about like that. Then you wait for that to dry a bit on your own, or while you're doing your other things as well. So I'm going to move up to my forehead again, and I'm just going to do a 2-layered gap on this one like I got ripped instead of bitten, because most people get bitten on the hand first and then torn apart, but I'm not going to rip my guts out. I have made it to look like I had brains coming out before though, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Take some red, and you dab it in the area. Ooh, I'm way off. You dab it in the area. You get it on the thing. I put a little too much, but you can easily wipe it off and make it look. The blood will cover most of the mess ups you do. So much easier doing this in the mirror, though. Dab it. some more red. Yeah, this one will be really bloody. I have anything good to say about it, which I will. My gosh. Okay. It's all skin-like. I have this part falling off me, but that'll look good later. Then you take some black, of course, and you dab the holes. And you gotta dab this one too. Dab all around. The white spots on my forehead, I'm gonna cover up by blood, which will look awesome. For now, that's what it looks like. It's pretty cool. Probably look better when you get an actual thing, but that is decently done. Then I'm gonna move back to my hand. It's all painted and ripped up. Now I just gotta take some blood. You can also get smaller ones like this. They sell them in many different Halloween stores and make even party stores all year round sometimes. You can also order them offline. You just take it to your skin and dump it and let it roll around a bit. Take a Q-tip and make sure it doesn't go too far. I poured a lot of blood, but for a reason. I wanted this to look good. Until you get that. My hand has been ripped from. Blood does come out of your clothes, so if it drips onto your clothes, don't scream and freak because you ruined your favorite shirt because you were stupid enough to wear it while doing makeup, like I am right now. I haven't gotten any of my clothes though. I've gotten really good at keeping it off my clothes. And the blood looks real, as you can see. Dab it up around the edges, make it look like it was smeared. And there you go. That's your hand. Then you go back to the forehead. The forehead, we're going to do the same thing. Except we're not going to round it like I did the other one because it's harder to clean up when it goes down your face. Now you have to keep an eye on it when it goes down your face like this because it will get in your eyes and it does burn. But it's temporary burn. It'll go away eventually. You don't have to go and wash out your eyes instantly and ruin your makeup. See, now I lean my face back to get the blood to drip properly. Smear it a bit with my Q-tip. And over a few hours, this will become even more and more gory than it is now. But I am now a bloody zombie. See? It's all it takes to be a zombie makeup artist. Hope you enjoyed it.